Welcome, Black Hollywood Live fans. On today's Fit Club, we talk Chili's, fast food, and food labels with some of Oprah's favorite things, Matt Revage, Doug Amber, and Chef Des. Stay tuned for more.
You're tuned into Black Hollywood Live, the world's first digital broadcast network devoted entirely to urban entertainment and pop culture. Tune in right now.
Welcome, Fit Clubbers. We are back. We got a special show, guys. My name is Shaka Smith, as always, but I've got a whole new panel here, guys. I'm without a co-host today, but we got Chef Des, we got Matt Revage, and we got Doug Amber. This is a vegan chef. How many years have you been a vegan chef?
I've been a vegan chef for 1 year. I've been vegan and cooking now for 4 years.
So we got a lot to talk about here. We're really excited. Got some food on the table. And we got Matt Revage, CEO of Yeti Houseware Appliance, but also amazing fitness dynamo who just dropped 50 pounds?
29.
29 pounds. It sounds like 50 to me. We've got to talk about that. You did that in how many weeks?
8 weeks.
8 weeks. Amazing. And of course, we got Doug Amber, also investor of Yeti Houseware Appliance, and you dropped a lot of weight as well.
45.
45 pounds. Wow. So we got a lot to talk about, guys. But before we get into all of that, a little bit of sad news. If you guys have been watching Fit Club for a while, you guys know we started with a host. Her name is Fallon Mercedes. But I want you guys to know, unfortunately, her mom needs a double lung transplant, and they're not covering it. So we know the health outcomes in this country are not so great. So hopefully you guys can pitch in. Her website is Nancy Breeze Again. Again, that's Nancy Breeze Again. Show a little support for Fallon. She was just an amazing contributor to the show. She's been awesome, always supporting. So hopefully we can show her a little bit of support back. Unfortunate news, but hopefully we guys can have a nice little community of support for her. So. But we have to move on. Fallon, hopefully you're listening, and hopefully we make that happen for you. But let's talk about Chili's and cutting the risk of death. So it turns out this new study, which is all over the internet, people are wild about it because who doesn't love a little bit of hot food? But it looked at 23,000 people and looked at their health and monitored their eating. And it turns out those that were having Chili's at least 4 times a week, it looks like they've lowered their risk of death from heart attack by 40% and lowered the risk of death by stroke by over 50%. Again, it's an observational study, but it certainly says a lot. And, I always wonder, what are sort of the superfoods that are really beneficial for us to be having and including every week? I try to do a few myself. Chili's are one of them for me, for the weight loss effect. But for you as a vegan chef, what are some of those things that you like to make sure that are in there for your clients to get some nutrients?
I like to add anything that's easy, like easy switch outs, especially turmeric.
Yeah.
Like turmeric you could just add to anything.
Yeah.
I cook a lot with spirulina and sea moss, and I like to just switch out, easy things like if a recipe calls for flour, try to use a coconut flour or almond flour or arrowroot powder. Just easy switches.
All those sort of anti-inflammatory.
Yes.
Nice, I love that. How about you? And when you dropped all that weight, was there anything you relied on? Was there something that you said, oh, wait, this is working better than something else,
So my go-to food was ground turkey, salmon, shrimp, in the mornings, eggs, and steel-cut oats.
Yeah.
And then I noticed about 7 weeks into the challenge, so there was only 1 week left, I cut out all sodium. I started to look at every label, and if it had sodium, I wasn't having it.
Yeah.
And I dropped maybe 10 pounds that last week when I cut out all the sodium.
Yeah, sodium is one of those tricky things. It's in so much stuff, and then we have so many things we don't even pay attention to, but it really affects our weight big time.
Mm-hmm.
And then how about you? You lost 49 pounds?
45
pounds.
Yeah, I don't want to exaggerate. But no, what I did I thought was nothing short of miraculous in that I followed a vegan diet, and then within 120 days, it was just melted off.
Yeah.
My go-to was steel-cut oats. I made it in the Yeti pressure cooker. It takes about 6 minutes and just home runs. Easy, filled me up for the rest of the day. And, not hard. Hard.
What sparked, for both of you, what sparked that, I'm going to lose this weight right now? Like you said, I'm going to take 8 weeks, I'm going to do this challenge, but, how did you get to that point where you're like, I'm going to do this right now?
So for me, about 2 years ago, my girlfriend moved in with me, and I gained about 20, 30 pounds.
Comfortably, yeah.
Yes, and then I signed up for this gym at 45, and they had an 8-week challenge. I said, this is it. I got to lose this weight. I've had it too long. And I figured I might as well use my Yeti appliances to cook all my meals and meal prep during the 8-week challenge.
Yeah.
So I followed along their nutrition app they have, but instead of cooking in a microwave or an oven, I cooked it in our air fryer and our pressure cooker. and worked out every day consistently, and the weight just started to fly off.
Nice. And did you have group workouts?
Group workouts.
Okay.
They're kind of like CrossFit, high intensity interval workouts. Men, women, people of all ages.
Yeah.
They're fun. They're efficient. Only 45 minutes.
Oh,
So
no.
for
Oh,
someone
that's
like
great.
me, yeah, the time is very valuable to me.
Yeah.
So I loved it.
And then for you,
For me, I was just looking in the mirror and I looked terrible.
but your answer was like, I'm going vegan, because that's pretty drastic.
You know,
Yeah.
I had a girlfriend at the time, so I'd go 3-day stretches, 7-day stretches, and I felt better.
Yeah.
I felt like I had more energy, and I started to lose weight.
Yeah.
So my eyes were puffy, my joints hurt. I went in. I
Yeah.
did 2 years, and I never looked back.
And things are just getting better. So
Things
yeah.
are just getting better. Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah, I'm really happy for it.
Nice. Something that might help us all do a little bit better is exercise advice on food labels. And I initially thought I'd be for this, but now I'm not so sure, because some anti-advocates have come out and said maybe this is not a great thing. But out of the UK, a UK study looked at these things called PACE labels, physical activity calorie equivalent labels. So you might see something like a chocolate bar with 230 calories that says it's going to take 23 minutes of walking, or 23 minutes of running, or 46 minutes of walking to burn this off. Which sounds like, okay, great. Now I'm going to kind of know what I need to do to afford this caloric intake. But people with eating disorders, or advocating on people on behalf of eating disorders, are saying that this might actually promote those, because it gives a earn it or burn it attitude when it comes to your food. And it also it kind of incentivizes you to look at calories versus nutrients. And so I want to know where you guys fall in this debate. Do you think it's a good thing? And they're saying that the UK study says it looks like people will probably eat 200 less calories a day. And especially in the US, we know obesity is a huge problem. Is it worth it if we're getting that result, or are we going to find that we're kind of feeding into this eating disorder mentality?
I really think that it would promote an eating disorder, but also I think it's kind of a necessary evil to have in the U.S. We need to know how much we're eating. Maybe in other countries, they don't need it,
Yeah.
and you can look at it from the eating disorder perspective. But in the U.S., we're eating way too much, and I think that we don't realize, where a normal person should know to just balance their diet and know how much to eat. But I really think in the U.S.
We haven't really been taught it.
Yeah, exactly. So maybe that will teach us.
Yeah. And this would be an additional label, so it wouldn't be replacing, we'd be an additional, so you'd still have your nutrient count and all that stuff there, but this would be an additional label. How about you guys? For this and not for it?
For me personally, I think it would help. I think the more information I have, the better I can achieve my goals. I think they should maybe poll people with eating disorders and ask them actually what they think. I don't know what they think and how it would affect them.
Yeah, how about you?
I think it's such a sensitive, politically charged topic, but at the same time, if I'm not moving my body, I'm going to eat less, because I know that, hey, I can't burn that off. So I think it would help people in the days they're not as maybe active.
So you think personally it would be good for you?
It would good, yes, for me personally.
It-
Yeah.
And also, is it only on junk food, or is it on all foods?
I think it would be for all food, just kind of letting you know. Because for me, I'm like, great, but maybe I might get an eating disorder. Because by the time you get to your cart and you're at the checkout, you're like, oh, I got to do like 300 years of working out for this food. Like, I don't know if it's going to make me not get it, or just be really dejected and like want to figure out some sort of shortcut. Like, if you get to the end in your shopping cart, there's no way you can reach the workout of what you bought. It would be interesting if they tallied up how many minutes you owe them at the end too. Your bill's $100, but you also owe like 500 minutes of working out if you want to burn this food. But you guys are sort of like want to see more.
Yeah.
I want to see more. I want to see what people's opinions are that maybe have a problem with that.
Well, you guys have a recipe book. Do you think you'd want to throw in something like that in the recipe book? Maybe put equivalents of how many minutes of working out?
I'd be open to trying it.
Yeah.
Or having a recipe book specifically for people who work out.
Yeah.
Okay, here you guys. Here's this information. It might help you.
Yeah, I think it's a good idea, especially when you have recipes that are sort of common, that people are, hamburgers and French fries. Then people would start to go, well, okay, I know it from this, so I don't need to see it everywhere, but at least I now have it in my head how much it is to work off. Possibly. But another study talking about more about sort of fast food and what we're eating. Children who live near fast food restaurants are more likely to be obese. So it's from the Journal of Things we already knew, but it's good. It's good to get this stuff kind of quantified. This is out of the Journal of Obesity, run by the Cleveland Clinic, the Children's Cleveland Clinic, funded by the NIH. But they looked at 3.5 million children over a 4-year period, and they found that those that lived at least a half city mile block away from the closest fast food restaurant were 2.5%, between 2.5 and 4.4% less likely to be obese. So that's about 0.025 miles away, which I thought was good. And I don't think about that kind of stuff. You know, I don't have kids, so when you're moving and kind of what area you're in, even for myself, I don't think about that kind of stuff. Maybe it's better to be further away from the bad food. Do you guys think about that? Do you contemplate that? Did you have to avoid places when you guys were on your, your losing the weight mission?
Definitely had to avoid places, but I think, the less opportunity, if it's not near you, you're less likely to go there.
Yeah.
So.
I mean, growing up, I lived near BK and McDonald's, so I was a victim of this.
So that was the start.
Definitely. It set a bad pattern.
Yeah,
That's what I know. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, and for you with kids, like, have you thought about it? Do you look at the different places in your neighborhood?
Well, it's hard because, I mean, living in LA and living in San Diego, there's
Everything.
fast food on every corner.
Yeah.
So it's hard to get away from. And my daughter, she's never had McDonald's,
Yeah.
but she always asks for McDonald's. Like, our kids always know.
Yeah, how do
what
kids
it is.
know? Do they hear it from their friends? Because even if they don't taste it themselves, they still know they want it.
Yeah, I think the marketing for it is
it's
just that good. But yeah, we just try to stay away from all the fast food.
Do you veganize it, or do you try to make it healthy? Like, so she gets like a hamburger, but it's not that kind of hamburger,
Oh yeah, we go to Plant Power.
Oh,
yeah, we go to the vegan fast food places where I think it's a little bit not as bad.
Yeah.
And if she really wants a burger, then we'll make a burger at home.
Yeah.
And we'll try to do like a veggie patty and, just anything healthy that she wants. And we'll do fries in the air fryer. And I mean, she still gets her crispy fries.
Yeah.
And she's happy.
Oh, that's awesome. That's awesome. Well, yeah, well, definitely something to consider when you have kids because, just the mere proximity to a place can really change their lives. And our last story is about plastic being a threat to your health. And there was a researcher out of Harvard Tate Chan School of Public Health talking about sort of the different things in plastic that leach into our foods. And a lot of us are sort of unsure. At least I was like, I don't know how much chemicals I'm getting through the way I'm storing my food or cooking my food. But what are we talking about? Phthalates and bisphenol A are the two that everyone talks about. They're endocrine disruptors. They play with our hormones. But what a lot of companies have done to go BPA free, I've seen on every bottle, I've seen it everywhere, but they're replacing a lot of stuff with chemicals that are also endocrine disruptors, but don't have the marketing thing in our brain that we go, oh, that's bad for us. For a while they're replacing BPA with BPS, which is even worse. So things are a little bit behind the times, and I'm just sort of like, wait a minute, how does the average person figure out how to cook, what to store the food in? So I don't know if you guys had any tips or tricks. I know that you guys were really concerned about using Teflon versus ceramic, and so I was trying to figure out what other things can I do to protect my food.
I would say 100% go ceramic, go glass.
Yeah.
Take it back 50, 100 years. What do we use back then? All this new stuff may sound great, and just like the steroid, kind of trend, there was always beat the test.
Yeah.
Take it back 50 years. Yeah. The air fryer that we have has a ceramic coating, and that was something, Matt and Bobby, who's not here, also a founder, were very, very adamant about having.
Yeah.
The alternative to Teflon nonstick. So.
Yeah. For me, it's glass, stainless steel,
Yeah.
and avoid plastic.
So when you do like your meal prep, are you using like glass containers?
Yes.
And
Yeah.
And how about you?
Yeah, I think we're all on the same page. Like, glass is number one. It's like, with having a kid, I get the ones with the silicone around it to kind of protect it. But glass, and like he said, like 50 years ago, what do we use?
Yeah.
We're using stainless steel. I use an iron skillet to cook a lot of things in, and the ceramic, like the vintage cooking dishes that we used to use. Like, those are really good too.
Yeah, I'm totally switching it up because when I read that they were replacing the harmful stuff with stuff that's even more harmful, it just like blows my mind.
Yeah.
It's crazy that we have to deal with this as consumers, and here I am, like the host of a fitness show, so I get to read this stuff, but the average consumer misses out on so much of this stuff as well too. So I don't know, it's a dangerous world we're living in. But what I am excited about is a little bit of food. I wanted to do like a little bit of holiday thing that you could make at home that was simple and easy. And you got a nice vegan recipe, this vegan pie that I think came from your recipe book.
Yes.
So,
Yeah.
but we don't know how long to work out to run it off. But yeah, tell us a little bit what you did here.
Okay, so I did use this recipe from the book. I switched up a few things. I like to do, like I said, like easy switches. So I'm using I don't know how to even pronounce that.
Lakanto.
Lakanto? Okay, I use this all the time, but it's
Really?
a monk fruit. Yeah.
Do you know that they're one of my sponsors?
I didn't know that.
Okay, that's amazing. That's
Yeah, no, I didn't know
great.
that. Yeah, I get it at Sprouts. I love it. It's a monk fruit sweetener. I like to use the golden one. And so I'll use this. It's 0 calories. What is it? 0 glycemic. And so I switched that out instead of just regular sugar. I think the recipe calls for peaches, but I did apples because those are more in season right now for the holidays. Instead of cornstarch, you can use arrowroot powder.
Nice.
I think that's all I switched out. I did use like a gluten-free pie crust as well.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, and
Okay.
I really wanted to try that out in the air fryer,
Yeah.
and it worked so good.
Nice.
Yeah.
Perfect.
My daughter ate like 2 of those. She
That's
has a lot of
awesome.
working out she's gonna
And
have to do.
how long did it take in the air fryer?
Only 12 minutes.
What?
Yeah. Where, if you think about it in the oven, that would have taken, you would have had to wait for your oven to preheat and then probably like 25 minutes
Yeah.
in the oven. And then it has a really nice like crispiness to it, which I don't think you would have gotten in the oven either.
Oh, that's well. I'm probably eating that later.
Yeah.
So, and so what I kind of forgot to mention this, but mentioned at the top. But Matt, Doug, they just got listed on Oprah's favorite things for their pressure cooker, and they have this whole appliance line. I met them right before this announcement came out, and I was super excited about their appliances. And amazing to know that Oprah is also excited about their appliances. I want to find out how was that process? Was the anticipation? Were you nervous? How did that go?
We were nervous. We were excited. We submitted the pressure cooker to a representative from her team about 2 months before the list came out, and they had to try it, use it, and we got a text about, I'd say, a month in saying, "I just made the best tasting chicken ever." And we were like, "Yes." And they're like, "It was so tender. This thing is amazing." Blah, blah, blah. And we knew we were in.
Oh, nice, nice.
Yeah.
And so, with the fitness aspect of like the air fryer and things like that, how have you incorporated that for your food? Because I love that she was able to make this and it was quick and simple and easy.
The air fryer, I keep it simple.
Yeah.
Put a breast of chicken in, turn it on for 10 minutes at 400 degrees, take it out, little lemon, salt and pepper, that's it.
That's it.
Keep it simple.
And did you send them the air fryer? Because the air fryer is amazing.
I didn't send them the air fryer.
Yeah.
Next year we'll get to that, don't worry.
I was like,
One thing at a time.
And how about you? How have you been using this for your healthy meals as well?
I would say it just as a time saver, and Des has cut her time in half.
Yeah.
For me, I'm a busy guy. Efficiency is everything. I cut the time in half.
Yeah, and you were doing oats in the steel cut oats.
Yeah, 6 minutes,
Yeah.
it's done. Like I said before, it keeps me energized for the rest of the day.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What has been, as entrepreneurs, your biggest challenge with this appliance company, and also motivating people to cook at home and eat healthier?
The biggest challenge?
Yeah.
Staying in inventory.
That's a good one.
I mean, I would, jump in and say this. Just as the microwave and the toaster oven are now in everybody's homes, I feel like the pressure cooker and the air fryer are that next generation. And also, it's the healthier alternative. The microwave is garbage to me. It changes the food. It's bad for you.
Yeah.
So this is the alternative to that. And you're not losing out,
Yeah.
Yeah, I would say when I started this business, everybody knew what a microwave and a toaster was.
Yeah.
Everyone had one.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe 2 out of 10 people knew what an electric pressure cooker was and what an air fryer
Yeah.
was. Now, 8 out of 10 people know what an electric pressure cooker and an air fryer is. The microwave and the toaster, they're going to be replaced. This is the evolution of the kitchen appliance industry.
Yeah.
So, in my opinion, everybody will have at least one of these 2 products in their kitchen within the next 5 years.
Yeah, no, I agree, because I've seen the trend, and it's not even just a trend, it's just a better product. The air fryer is a better thing.
It's a better device. It's
Yeah.
healthier, more versatile.
Yeah.
I would say this, to sum up, people care about what they put in their bodies now, whether they're vegan or keto or paleo. They take the time and they're conscious. That awareness, that mindfulness, it transcends their lives into the food they put in their body.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
And how did you come to being vegan?
To being vegan, I was eating chicken wings one day, and I was like, I was just like eating it, and I had thought about going vegan before, and then I kind of was like, no, I like the food too much.
Yeah.
I didn't really process yet. And I was eating it, and then like I was eating the little ligaments and whatever else is in chicken wings that we all love so much, and I just put it down, and I was like, yeah, and then that was it.
And that was it?
Just cold turkey.
Oh,
yeah.
wow.
And my daughter was 1 at the time, so she's pretty much been vegan her whole life too.
Vegan by default.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's amazing. Wow.
Yeah.
And so, but any thoughts of going vegan? I know we had a little. Any thoughts of going vegan for you? No.
After our conversation, I'm considering it. You told me about the benefits, and to take care of my future. Maybe I'll become a vegan now, so I'm healthier, have better skin, better hair in the future, internally be more healthier. But I'll let you know tomorrow.
Yeah, how do I feel about it tomorrow? What has been your biggest challenge as a vegan cook and cooking for non-vegans?
I don't cook for non-vegans. I mean, I do, but what I do is I don't cook food that's not vegan. So,
No, I'm saying, how do you cook for them, or what's the challenge in making them something that they'll still like?
My staple is making people nostalgic food. So I love making mac and cheese. I make a really good vegan mac and cheese. I love making tacos, arroz con leche, which is like a rice pudding that everyone grew up eating. And I make it vegan, and people will eat my food, or they'll say like, "Oh no, I can't eat that because I can't have dairy."
Yeah,
like, no,
guess
like
what?
it's all vegan. Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
And I'm gonna do a little thing with you guys. It's called Fit Club 5. So I'm gonna ask you 5 rapid fire questions, and we're gonna get the first thing on your mind. So here we go, guys. We'll go around like this. Last person you texted.
Matt.
Doug.
Alondra.
Your dream dinner guest, alive or dead?
Wow. Michael Jordan.
No comment.
No comment. Dream dinner guest.
My girlfriend.
There you go.
Oh, my mom.
Oh, I love that. Last meal. You just said last meal you ate.
Steel cut oats.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Whole Foods, turkey, yams, and a sprinkle of quinoa.
Ah, sprinkle of quinoa.
Yeah.
Really cutting those carbs.
I had a buffalo chicken wrap from Veggie Grill on the way here.
What's your favorite junk food?
I like all candy. Yeah, I have a sweet tooth, and anything dessert oriented for sure.
Pizza.
Yeah, I have desserts, sweet
Desserts.
tooth for sure. Yeah.
And if you were on death row, what would your last meal be?
Wow. I'd say just a big pizza.
Give me your largest pizza, please.
Yeah.
Sweet potato fries cooked in the Yeti air fryer.
Oh. Stipulation.
Yeah, anything fried. Anything fried.
No, you
I'd
gotta
be
pick
happy.
side. I want to know
Really?
what though.
Okay.
What?
All right, I would do some fried tofu with some teriyaki sauce.
Ooh.
Yeah.
What, your last meal, fried tofu with teriyaki sauce?
Yes, I
That's
like
it? That's how you're going
tofu,
out?
yes.
Okay. Oh my God. Well, hopefully we got to know a little bit about all of you. Fried tofu with teriyaki sauce. Oh man, but I want to thank you guys for joining me. This was amazing. Learned so much from you guys. And where can we find more about the Yeti air fryer? Or the Yeti, all the Yeti appliances? 'Cause you get the pressure cooker, the air fryer oven, the air fryer, and are we getting like a press?
And the sous vide.
The sous vide. And is there going to be a grill coming?
Yes, yes, that as well. www.yetihousewareappliances.com, Amazon.com. Just type in Yeti Houseware. You'll see all the products. Our Instagram at Yeti Houseware, and Oprah's favorite things list.
Yeah. And where can they find you personally online?
I'm at Mrevich.
Nice.
Instagram,
Yeah.
that's a controversy in it itself. Just at Yeti Houseware, if you DM, you'll get me. Yeah.
And where can they find you?
I'm at stellar.des, and my cafe is at stellar.cafe.
Nice. And then before we go, we got to try this. Let's
Okay, let's
give
try
this.
it, yeah.
Let's all give this a little
Oh,
try.
gosh, I hope it's good.
Let's go. Let's pass it
For
around.
sure,
Yeah,
for sure.
It looks great.
Let's see. Yeah, this is going to be about the air fryer and you. So everyone here will be judged. Right?
I had this earlier
I just
today, so
spilled
I knew it
all
was going to
over
be good.
my shirt.
I know.
And it's light and flaky too.
Mm-hmm.
Man.
Vegan.
Yeah.
Vegan.
All
yeah.
vegan
Uh-oh.
and gluten free.
Vegan, gluten-free.
Wow.
This is how we do it. We gotta get an applause. We get a round of applause.
Right
This
here,
is
let's
amazing. Man, there we go.
There we go.
Well, guys, again, thank you so much for joining me.
Okay.
Where can they find you online?
At stellar.does.
And you guys can find me as always, Shaka Smith, Shaka Strong on Twitter, Instagram, and Snapchat. We'll see you guys next week.
On behalf of our BHL staff, we would like to thank you for tuning in to Black Hollywood Live, the world's first digital broadcast network devoted entirely to urban entertainment and pop culture. Check out our Black Hollywood Live YouTube page for even more great programming and amazing content, and be sure to subscribe and like our channel when you do. I'm your BHL host, Nakia Monet, and you can find me on all social media at Kiki Boom Boom or at Black Hollywood Live. Black Hollywood Live, Hollywood redefined.